All right. Hey, class. Last one, I promise. I just wanted to break down fractions, dividing fractions by a whole number, and how that's going to be a lot different than dividing a whole number by a fraction. It's the inverse, it's the opposite. So um, let's just start with something small. So 1/2 divided by 3, I'm starting with my half. So that means I'm going to have a pretty small number when I get to my answer, because if I'm already starting by half with a half and I'm dividing that by 3 wholes, that's going to be pretty small. So what that looks like is I have half of something. Let's call it a brownie pan again, because brownies are awesome. And I'm having when I get home, there's half of the brownie pan left. Now I am going to share this brownie pan with 3 lucky people. Okay, that means I'm going to share this whole brownie pan. Remember, I have to divide the whole brownie pan, not just the half that's there, but the whole thing, because that's the fractional piece. That's what we're dealing with. So I have Kaylin up here sharing it, and yes, we'll go with Ayana, and we'll go with Masha. Look at that, Cam. Okay, so the question is, how much does each kid or each person get? If I'm dividing this by 3, how much does each person get? Let's just go with Kaylin, since she's on the top. So Kaylin gets this piece right here. So she gets one piece out of the total pieces that were there. So Kaylin gets one out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kaylin gets 1/6 of the total brownie pan. Ayana also gets 1/6 of the total. And Masha gets 1/6 of the total. So if we combine all of their sixths together, Kaylin gets one, Ayana gets one, Masha gets one. If we put those together, that's 3/6. That's half the brownie pan. And look at that. That's exactly where we started. But I'm not asking about all 3 of them. I just want one kid or one person. That's Kaylin in this question, or Ayana or Masha, but Kaylin gets 1/6 of the total. Okay. This question is the same thing as saying, I'm going to show you a trick. When we multiply 1/2 by 1/3, if I take my whole number and I flip it, if I flip the reciprocal, if I, that's what it's called, but don't worry about that. But if you just put the numerator as a 1 and the whole number as the bottom, then you multiply across. 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 3 is 6. It's the same, it's equivalent. So you can use that little trick as you go to see if you're doing it correctly. Okay, um, let's do another one here. Let's try 2/5 divided by 6. Whew, okay, so remember, same thing. You're starting with my fractional piece. Sorry about my head being behind my document camera. Some of you prefer that, I think. Um, so let's split this up into 5 equal parts, and we're going to share this with 6 people, okay? So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So going across, I have 5 equal parts, and I am going to shade in 2 of those because that's what's there right now. That's the piece of the brownie pan that is there, 2/5. Again, we're going to come over and we're going to share this with, come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 people sharing this brownie pan. Now, who are they? Let's go with Talon and Marcelo and Brielle and Sophie. And let's do Astrid. And who else? Let's do Vincent H. Okay, so the question is, I have 2/5 this time. 2/5. Okay. That means Talon, and I'm just looking at one of the kids. So out of 6 kids, how many pieces does Talon get? So he gets both of these pieces up here because he gets the total in his little row. So Talon gets 2 pieces, but out of how many? Well, it's an area model, so 6 times 5, that's 30. We have 30 total pieces, or we did at one point. Talon gets 2 of those 30. 2/30ths. Yeah, 2/30. That's all he gets. Not Masha. Who was this? Marcelo gets 2/30. Brielle gets 2/30. Sophie gets 2/30. Astrid gets 2/30, and Vincent H gets 2/30. If we combine all of those up, you would get a total of simplified down to 2/5. But we're just looking at one person. So Talon gets 2/30. We know we can simplify that down to 1/15. Let me show you the trick here. So our multiplying fraction trick. If I make this 6, and if I flip the reciprocal, and I make 6 wholes into 1/6, look at that. 2 times 1 is 2, 5 times 6 is 30th, simplified into 1/15th. Okay? Let's do one more. You notice how the answers are getting smaller? They're not bigger like they're when we were dividing a whole number by a fraction. These are getting smaller and smaller. Okay, one more. Maybe 2 more. We'll see. Let's try 3/4 divided by 6. Same. So 6 kids again. We're going to take our brownie pan. I'm making this big one this time. I'm hungry. Okay. Let's divide this by fourths first. Fourths. Okay. Dividing it by fourths. So I'm going to shade in 3/4. So 3/4 of the brownie pan is there when 6 friends come home. So I'm going to cut the brownie pan going vertically into sixths. Okay? 6 friends get to share 3/4 of the brownie pan. Yummy. Okay? So our friends here, I'm just going to do this one really quick. So friend 1, friend 2, friend 3, or friend A, or friend whoever, you can name them. I always like to name them. But this friend here, remember, you only care about what one person gets, not everybody, just one. So this person gets these pieces right in there. So they get 3 pieces. Not bad. Not bad at all. Out of how many pieces? How many pieces do they get? Or how many pieces were there total? Let's see. 4 times 6, there were 24 pieces. So that friend, this first person, gets 3/24 of the total. And I know I can simplify that by dividing both the numerator and the denominator by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 8 divided by 3 is 8. Or 24 divided by 3 is 8. So that simplifies to 1/8. So this person gets 3 pieces, but it's out of the total that was there, which is 24 pieces. It's not 3 out of the pieces that were there right now, which is 18. No, it's out of the total, 24. Our little trick, let's see if that works. 3/4 times, let's inverse 6 wholes into 1/6. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 6 is 24. And that can simplify to 1/8. Now, we did a problem similar to this where we divided the whole number by the fraction. I'm going to show you something. If I divide 6 divided by 3/4, if I did the whole number first, our answer, I don't know if you remember, was 8. 8 wholes. Because 6 divided by 1/4 was 24. Here, I'll just do it. That's our unit fraction. And then if I divide by my numerator, that gave me 8. So if you notice, look at that. 8 and 1/8. That's not a coincidence. That will happen because you're taking the opposite of each other. You're taking a whole number, dividing it by a fraction, which is going to give you a bigger answer. But if you divide a fraction by a whole number, your parts are going to be super small. It's going to be a lot smaller. So you just have to remember what is the question asking you? Are you dividing something by a whole number, or are you dividing something by a fraction? And after you read the question, and you find the answer, make sure it makes sense. Does it make sense? Okay? This is hard. This is not, this is new. And I just want you to do your best and take your time. And if you made it this far, good on you, because this is not the most fun thing to watch. And I'm sorry about that, but this is what we got to do. All right. Take care.